It's a little crazy to think that we're almost a couple of months into this coronavirus lockdown, and we still have no idea what's going to happen next. I mean, we could be on the cusp of a reopening soon and a return to some level of normalcy, or this could drag on for a while and fundamentally reshape our lifestyles, if not the way society is organized altogether. But so far, two things have become clear. First, COVID 19 has already devastated hundreds of thousands of families around the world who have lost loved ones, and in many cases couldn't even see them in the hospital before they died. But we also know that millions of people have been devastated by the lockdown itself. A substantial portion of the planet is restricted in some way, and 30 million Americans lost their jobs, which is really horrifying when you consider that the majority of Americans don't have $1,000 saved up for emergencies. You have detainees and refugees can't get to safety, domestic violence is rising, and suicides are up as well, because we've always known that stress and loneliness are deadly. So not only is the virus killing people, but the measures we're taking against it are also devastating. And to make all of this worse, we have the most ridiculous and sinister political leadership leading us through this unprecedented time. Public health and science-related programs have been decimated under this administration. Huge cuts to staffing and to funding, making us unequipped to quickly figure out what's actually happening to design sensible policies that rise to the challenge of this moment. Now, for me personally, even though I'm one of the lucky ones who, so far, have not lost loved ones or their jobs, I'm still finding this period a little tough. I miss spending time with my family, I miss going out with my friends, I miss travel, I miss going to the beach, I miss doing sports. And from scrolling through social media and watching everyone share happier memories, it's obvious that we're all struggling with the same things, which makes perfect sense because we're social creatures. And yes, now I have more time to make smoothies or experiment with different recipes and whatnot, but the stress of uncertainty about the future makes it really hard to take advantage of this downtime to really focus and be productive. But I can't imagine what it would be like to attempt a lockdown like this in the pre-social media or modern communications age, because connecting with people is one of the few things that makes this bearable. I mean, we've played games, we've celebrated birthdays, hell, we've even had dance parties on video chats. And yes, crisis can bring out some selfishness and lunacy, like the guy who hoarded all that hand sanitizer or the people fighting over toilet paper. But crisis can also bring out the best in humanity, and the really creative acts of solidarity have been inspiring. You know, from something as simple as people celebrating together on their balconies from my neighborhood in DC over here, all the way to Italy. And neighbors offering to go shopping for strangers, and community initiatives to cheer people up and celebrate their birthdays, and doctors and nurses stepping up and putting in insane hours to help people. And the list goes on and on. And if there is a silver lining in all of this, it's that while we're all cooped up in our homes, the planet is actually healing and CO2 emissions are dropping substantially, which is really good news. Because if this pandemic has revealed anything, it is the extent to which our social order is not prepared to survive a much bigger crisis, which climate change is inevitably going to bring to us. Getting a glimpse of how fragile our lives can be is a useful wake-up call to remind us of what's actually important, not just on a personal level, in terms of valuing the time we spend with loved ones more, but also politically, in terms of how petty some of our social and political squabbles have been. Now is a good time to reflect on all of this, to abandon outrage culture and our dumb and meaningless divisions over nothing, and focus on what actually matters, which is coming together to address the systemic failures of our social and political order that produce this insane level of inequality, a broken healthcare system, and a political culture that no longer values facts or science. We have big things to fix, and we have to fix them together. That's all I got for now, and if I do another one of these, I hope it's when the light at the end of the tunnel is a little bit brighter. Cheers.